Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Nick and Alex. I'm Nick.
Alex.
今日はね、その病院とか、まあその hospitals, doctors, nurses, all
Health
that.
insurance, maybe.
Yeah, health insurance, everything. We're gonna talk about that. So maybe I'll start with America because America's pretty famous for having problems with the health system. So America, unlike Japan, doesn't have a national health system, right? And I am not one of the people that are completely for a national health system in America because I just don't know how it would work. Like, I don't know enough about how it works, but I do know that I like the Japanese national health system. But number one, it's expensive. Maybe it was about 5 years ago. America, otafuku. Do you know what otafuku is? The mumps. It's when your like face gets really big.
Because that comes from the otafuku mask, right?
America ないの. They haven't had it for like, they just don't have it. But Japan still has it. Like kids still get it. Yeah, interestingly. So one of my friend's children got it, and I was around them. And then right when I got back to America, I got it. Like, and when you're an adult and you get it, it's terrible. Like, it's serious. Like, you can die from it.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, I was sick for like a month. Like, it's way worse than Corona. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. And I had to go to the hospital. I think I took a ambulance too. I mean, it was great. Like, I'll show you a picture of it. Right. It's pretty crazy. But the bills were insane. I think it was like $7,000 just for the ambulance.
$7,000?
救急車だけで多分70万ぐらい。で、まあその後はその保険で安くなるんだけど、まだ高いの。Like just going to the doctor in America is like $200 at least. 普通にクリニックに風邪でちょっと医者に行くだけで2万ぐらい。
待って。So what if you're dying and then you have to call an ambulance and it's at least a couple of $1,000?
Well, they bill you much later and they don't just turn you down because you don't have insurance usually.
Well, what happens if you're like really poor and you can't pay that money even afterwards?
Well, you probably end up owing money, I'm sure. But they don't just let people die. I mean, that would be chaos, right? I don't even know how it really works. That's the problem with the American health system, and it's basically the insurance company's fault, right? They got greedy or whatever. But anyway, I have a senpai. 僕の日本人の先輩、結構有名なお笑い芸人だけど、彼は家族で旅行でニューヨークに行ったんですよ。これ何年前ぐらいなんだけど、で、たまたまニューヨークに行った時に、たまたま奥さんが、なんだっけ、盲腸 do you know like like when your appendix gets really big?
Oh, appendicitis?
Yeah, appendicitis. She got that.
Oh.
And it cost 500万, $50,000 to do the operation. Yeah. Luckily, before they went, they had travel insurance, so that pays for everything.
So wait, if foreign people go to the States and they have their foreign insurances.
Well, you should get travel insurance.
Okay,
皆さん
travel.
絶対アメリカに行くときに旅行保険
Right.
に入った方がいい。
Then it's fine.
Yeah. So it's really expensive. On the other hand, it's insanely clean. Like the technology is amazing. Like when a lot of people get sick and ill, they go to the States. Even from Canada or from Europe.
Yeah,
like,
people from Russia do that too.
Yeah. So obviously capitalism makes it so people are like competing over the best type of medicine.
Right.
And then it becomes, really advanced and stuff like that. And then should we talk about Russia before Japan or?
Sure. I mean, I'm not as familiar also with the Russian system because I haven't really lived in Russia for over 10 years now. But I know that we have some sort of free service, but we also have, private clinics. So normally, if you have money, then you would prefer to go to a private clinic.
In Russia.
Russia, yes.
I don't want to go to any clinic in Russia, but if I had to go to a clinic in Russia, it would
private are okay, especially maybe, that's how we do things in Russia. Like if you know someone who works there, that's even better.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can trust them. But the ones owned by the government are kind of they're okay sometimes. Like if you have a kaze toka, it's fine.
Do you go to the clinic if you have a 風邪ひいたら 医者に行く。そう、アメリカも行かない。日本人は何でも行くの。で、別にそれ悪いことじゃないんだけど、安いから、行けるからさ。
But my family has a lot of doctors actually, so it's just like my mother always knew what to do if I got sick. So
Yeah.
But interesting thing actually, so one person in my family actually got corona recently.
Okay.
And he got, so what you're supposed to do, you call the clinic and then you're like, can you come and test me?
Yeah.
And that's a government-owned clinic. So the person from the clinic came, from the hospital came, took the test, and like, yeah, we'll contact you whenever we get the results. So they weren't contacting him, and then he had to call the private clinic. So the private clinic took the test, they gave him the results, and the government-owned clinic still haven't sent him anything.
Really?
How crazy is that?
Yeah. I'm always amazed by Japan in some things because usually like socialist institutions, which Japan has a lot of those, right? But like usually they're like completely incompetent. Like for instance, like the lab that the bat came out of in China. But Japan, somehow it just works every time. Like they have a lot of bureaucracy too, but it just works. It's obviously an attention to detail thing. But that's why I said, like, 2年前に前十靭帯を切って、もうなんもなかったの、足に。And I had to get serious surgery on my leg, and it's still not better yet. And there's problems maybe with the Japanese rehabilitation system there. But I was in the hospital for over a week. It was almost 2 weeks or something. You came to see me in the hospital. I had the surgery, and everything together was because I have 国民保険払ってるから、まあ何十万ぐらいだったんだけど、もうめっちゃ安かったの。しかもサービスがいいし、医者の思いやりとか、わざわざ僕の部屋まで来て、そう話すとか、どうとか元気みたいな。That was もうめっちゃ感動した。あとご飯も全然まずくない。逆にヘルシーで痩せた。I was worried I was going to get fat and
No, I mean
because you're in a bed all day,
Yeah, but they're looking after your health in different ways.
あとちなみにナースもちょっと可愛かったからそれも。
もちろん
But they were really nice. So when I was in America as a college student, I got influenza once, and I almost passed out. もう熱がひどすぎて失神になりそうになって。たまたま a police officer saw me and he put me in his car, which is really nice actually. And he was like,
So you didn't have to pay like $10,000.
Yeah. It was だからその場合はアメリカの警察は優しい。And he brought me to a hospital in America. So I get to the hospital, I'm waiting, and the nurse was a bitch. And she was like, why are you here? なんで来たの? And I was like, もうインフルエンザで熱も半端ない。She took my temperature and she was like, もうinfluenza で来てんじゃねえよ. Like she was mad. Like don't come here because there's people that are shot in this hospital. Like stop wasting our time. And she gave me a shot. Like it must have been like some antiviral shot.
Right.
But she didn't even like check the place to do it. She just like randomly stuck it in my arm. And for like a year afterwards, that there's like the nerve in my arm hurt. And that would never happen in Japan. But that was America. That wasn't Russia. That was like...
I don't know if our doctors behave that way. I mean, again, I barely went to I had a fair amount of like visits to the hospital when I was a kid, but the meanest person maybe in one of the meanest people in Russia, I think, are 病院の受付の人. They're terrible. They're gonna humiliate you. They're gonna be really rude, and they're gonna be like, I don't know, like maybe that floor, maybe this floor, just go away. It always like it completely ruins your mood whenever you go to a state-owned clinic.
There are things about the Japanese health system that I feel aren't up to date. Like for example, 夏になったら、今年の夏あんま寝れなくなったの。I was maybe under stress or something like that. So I went to an internist. 内科に行ってちょっと最近寝れないんだけどどうしようみたいな感じで and he was like do you want to take some sleeping pills? And I was like まあ今回はもらっていいんですけどその依存症もあるしちょっと危ないからカウンセリングとか行った方がいいかな and he was like カウンセリングこれを飲めるだけで、寝るのになんでカウンセリングするの and I was like that's like they would never do that in America. Like the last resort is sleeping pills.
Yeah, right.
I
feel like Japan has this very Japanese idea about counseling that you know you don't need it.
Well, they also have things where like they are really strict with some medicines, and then other really dangerous medicines they just give it to you like it's nothing.
It's true.
But overall, I have no complaints about the Japanese health. I think it's amazing, and I think it probably works because Japan is like, homogeneous, and they all like don't mind paying for each other's like insurance and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, I would have to say it's a little bit takai for me as
Really?
a student. But, maybe one day I would be grateful that I was.
Well, compared to America, anything's cheap.
I mean, it's just the thing is I've never been to a hospital in Japan. Maybe, I should pray that I never do.
Knock on wood. Do they say knock on wood in Russia?
Yeah, you say knock on wood and then like spit 3 times across your left shoulder. I don't
多
know.
分日本人のリスナーは分かってないんだけど、アメリカはその悪いこととか危ないこと言ったらキーを3回ノックする。3回じゃないけどノックする。
ああ、私たち3回。
あ、really?
3回
One, two, three, yeah. で、ロシア人はノックして3回唾を吐く。汚ねえな。
But like not really, you just say the sound.
That's hilarious. I feel like I'm getting a cold here. Not go.
I feel like I'm getting corona.
Yeah, just spit out.
でも待って、日本人は気を
多分そういうのはない。
Nation,
it's a superstition, right?
Yes.
Anyway, we'll talk. Oh, we should do a video on superstitions sometime. That'd be a good one. Okay. 皆さん、bye bye.